How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We have Brian Harrington, the Bitcoin lead over at Choice. Brian, how are you?
What's up, man? Great to be here. Thankful to be on your channel.
Definitely. Glad to have you here. I want to ask you, first of all, can you give us a reminder of the value proposition at Choice? What do you guys do and why is it valuable?
Yeah, 100%. And today's already an exciting day because Choice app just launched on Android. So we had been on iPhone like all year. We just dropped our Android waiting list today. And so we'll make sure Sam gets a link to that. But so yeah, Choice app on iPhone and Android is the only mobile app IRA that pays you in Bitcoin daily. Okay, so if you have a 401k or an IRA stuck at Schwab, stuck at Fidelity, stuck at TD Ameritrade, and it's not achieving like your family's financial goals in the way that you had hoped that it was because the investment options are like so limited, you can transfer and roll those over to Choice, which is a qualified retirement custodian, and get it into Bitcoin and get it into crypto, and just start like preparing better for your future that way.
That's fantastic. I think a lot of people don't think about the tax planning except for around this time of year. And, it's not as much of a problem right now because a lot of people have been sideways or even negative, so they're not really worried about paying for gains. But that's going to come into play a lot over the coming years, I have a feeling, as the price goes out.
Exactly. No, there definitely is that for people that are trading crypto. An advantage of doing it inside a qualified account is you're not going to get those statements then from the exchange that's like listing all your trades and listing all your swaps. You're inside like the tax protected nature of that retirement account.
Yep. And it can actually give you more flexibility too for when you do want to trim positions that you're not worried about that as much as well. So that's fantastic. I know you guys have a couple promotions going, right? Can you walk us through that, whether it's a new sign up or what you guys are trying to do by the end of the year, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so Choice is on a mission to give away a billion sats by tax day. And so we're doing that through boosting our Blinko game, which our Blinko game is the daily sats rewards when you drop the chip inside the app, just like I was talking about. But then also, yeah, all new users get $50 in Bitcoin when they sign up.
That's fantastic. So just for everyone at home, can you tell us what a billion sats is worth or about how many Bitcoin that is, for anyone that might not know?
100%. It's 10 Bitcoin. It's 10 Bitcoin. So sats are the base unit of Bitcoin. There's 100 million sats inside one Bitcoin. And so like the classic advice of like stay humble, stack sats is something that I try to live by, and yeah, just keep stacking sats.
Awesome. Well, I'll have the links to Choice underneath the video so that they can learn a little bit more about Choice and sign up. I have something that's a little bit off topic just from Choice, but I think it affects all of us. What do you think about the adoption of cryptocurrency over in Ukraine and Russia recently? Even countries taking donations, or even, with the Canadian truckers, all that. What do you think about all the adoption that's happening?
Yeah, so I think it's amazing that like Bitcoin is at the heart of global world events. Like if you just step back and think this software got put on the internet at the end of 2008, went live in 2009, and we're now in 2022, and gigantic like global changing things are happening, and Bitcoin is at the center of the conversation. And so like everyone in the world at this point, I'm going to go so far as to say everyone in the world at this point like has an opinion about Bitcoin. Like there's very, very few people that are still just kind of meh. Like there's very, very few people doing that. There's people that are all about it, and there's people that are annoyed and wish it would go away, or that roll their eyes and like can't really like understand the point. But there's still an emotional reaction. And so as like wild as these events are, like that's what it's wild to me as someone who's like just watching all the events from afar, that Bitcoin is such a conversation part of it. And so then you get into the nitty gritty of the actual like, yes, like if bank accounts are being frozen, like that is a literal Bitcoin fixes this. Like that's not a very, like we say this as a term, but there's no real like that's not a mental stretch. Okay, that's not me like pontificating. That's a very real one-to-one thing. And then same thing with the sanctions. like if someone's saying, hey, you can't do business with XYZ company because of XYZ political or like war decision, that's a very it's a very real fact that Bitcoin now exists, and you can use it when you're being financially sensitive.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, a lot of it was theory before, or maybe it just wasn't as readily obvious, but it makes it a lot easier now to try to explain to people that maybe are a little bit older, that have money, but just didn't really know the value prop. And now they see what the point is of Bitcoin, right? They can see, hey, I don't want my country to be able to take my money away from me, or my wealth that's not really mine because it's really in a U.S. bank, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
One other question, I suppose, last one, is about KPMG. I'm sure you saw the news a couple weeks ago that one of the top 4 accounting firms is adding Bitcoin and Ethereum to their balance sheet, obviously showing how other people can do it, similar to MicroStrategy a year ago, where they were trying to help other companies do it as well. Do you think this is just another MicroStrategy where they're just trying to help other people be onboarded? Do you think this is more of a marketing ploy? Do you think this is going to be big for institutional adoption down the line, or companies adopting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's exciting. Like, love to see it. Every time it happens, love to see it. My initial gut reaction is, this is funny, but I'm a little bit impatient. Like, I'm a very impatient person, I guess, like when it comes to this. And I'm kind of like, if a quote unquote stuffy company, like accounting firm like KPMG is like doing this, I'm kind of ready for like MicroStrategy to start rolling out, like paying the employees in Bitcoin, and like basically negotiating that their clients pay them in Bitcoin, and kind of like starting to make these next like moves. Mm-hmm. I just think it's here. I think all the tools are available, and so I think it's amazing that MicroStrategy popular, like made this more popular to do this, and so other companies are now able to follow this. Like I just had on the we should have called this out. Like, you were just on the Choice podcast, so people should go and look up Sam on the Choice podcast for behind the scenes of kind of like Sam's personal finance like journey. But the point of that was our guest right before you was the CEO of Everbowl, and Everbowl is like a private company that does like acai bowls, and they've got a bunch of stores. He talked about how like he saw that MicroStrategy was doing it, and so they were able to do it. Kind of the same thing with like KPMG. I love it and I want to see it. I'm kind of muted to the news now, and I want to see the next step. So that's not me downplaying it. It's just me like already excited for the next thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, something bit beyond just another company adding it to their balance sheet, right? And I think a lot of the time it does seem like there is maybe a 6-month or 12-month, 18-month delay after this stuff comes out about where they can implement it for their clients. But awesome. Appreciate having you on. There are links to Choice underneath the video. Where can people find out more about you specifically, and everything that you can teach them about Bitcoin?
For sure, man. Yeah, no, thank you for doing this. Search Brian Harrington on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Check out Bitcoin is Hard podcast on the Choice channel. And then if you're on Twitter, just message me. It's Brain, like in your head, Brain Harrington. Yeah, and my DMs are open, and so I love talking to people about what they're doing.
Awesome. Well, I'll include that underneath the video too, just to make it easier for everyone. Thank you so much for coming on.
Perfect. See you guys.